Thanks very much, Eileen. And well, at least Alistair's dog's angry. That's terrific. And good reason to be. Good on him. Good union dog. Actually, what Alistair said, never mind his dog, resonates very much with what I'm going to talk about briefly. I'm not sure I'm going to talk about necessarily what a just transition looks like. I would need a lot of time, but I do want to go quickly through what the budget delivered or failed to deliver in relation to transition, energy transformation and energy transition, and then talk about some of the issues that resonate very much with some things that other people have said tonight. I think, first of all, it's important, what Alistair said was that the government is very good at funneling public wealth into private pockets, and I think that's very much what it's been doing in relation to energy policy for a long time, and it seems to be determined to continue to do that. We've heard some of the announcements recently, the $610 million for the Kurri Kurri gas-fired power plant, which we don't need to keep the energy system stable. They've given $83 million to Energy Australia to build another gas plant near Wollongong. They've given Andrew Twiggy Forrest, a well-known billionaire, of course, $30 million to build a 650 megawatt gas plant. And in total in New South Wales, they're subsidising gas power generation to the tune of $723 million to build about 1,700 megawatts of gas plants, pretty much all of which we don't need. And that really very much is about funneling money into the pockets of their mates. There's also another nearly 59 million to fast-track gas pipelines, gas field trials, and so on. There was some spending on battery and microgrids in Northern Territory Indigenous communities, 30 million, and a little bit of money for a microgrid supporting hydrogen in the Daintree. But there's, other than that, nothing positive at all really in the budget around climate change or to facilitate the energy transformation. And in many ways, again, I think I would also echo previous comments that the budget is largely irrelevant. It's not what was in the budget that is interesting, but it's what wasn't in it that really matters. And what isn't in it is a clear strategy to decarbonise Australia's economy, or even to decarbonise the energy system. Now, the International Energy Agency recently, just last week, I think it was, released a report about how to get to zero emissions by 2050, which of course is too late. But even on that time scale, says that the pathway to a safe climate is very narrow and that governments have to lead. And unfortunately, the Morrison government is refusing to do what is required in any sense. It's actually completely abrogated its responsibility to keep Australians safe, just as it has completely abrogated its responsibility to roll out the vaccine properly and have a proper quarantine system in Australia. So in that sense, I don't think it's a legitimate government. It's interesting, the federal court, well, in the last few days, but just announced today, found that the government has a duty of care to younger Australians to protect them from the future devastation of climate change. I haven't yet read the judgment, but that's a very significant judgment, which we should all have a good look at. Very interesting. I just say that the IEA, and I'll quote from them, says, devising cost-effective national and regional net zero roadmaps demands cooperation among all parts of government that breaks down silos and integrates energies into every country's policy making on finance, labour, taxation, transport, and industry. Now, clearly, the budget does none of that. The government has no interest in that sort of extensive policy making, and that is why we've got a really we've got a massive problem in Australia. I liked what Alison said earlier about the need for a national reconstruction plan. I think that's a great slogan. I think it's a great idea, because we do need a national reconstruction plan. And as she said, it would take, it would foreground dealing with the climate emergency and transitioning and transforming our economy to a zero emission economy. I think what the government is essentially doing is what we shouldn't do is treat the public expenditure on gas-fired power stations. I don't think we should say, well, the alternative to that is the right alternative, which is let the market rip, because that is not delivering at all. So we need serious public investment in renewable energy generation, and we need a serious public plan for the transformation of our energy system and our economy to zero emissions. And clearly what the government is doing, in fact, is investing in the occasional gas power station, and maybe even coal-fired power stations, purely to cover up for their refusal to plan the system overall, which is causing system instability. And the most important point I think I'll make here and finish is that this failure to plan is not only causing electricity system instability, and it's not leading to a rapid enough transition to renewables, but it hurts workers and the communities they live in, and that's the fundamental problem. Thanks.